Hey guys, it's Vida and today I've come up with a really delicious cake recipe. You can have it without frosting and it's eggless. I'm gonna make it without oven. It's a really delicious fruit cake which is filled with nuts and dried fruits. Of course, everyone loves it. So it has a very basic cake batter with brown sugars to give it a little bit more of color, and then you just add in your favorite nuts and dried fruits. It's that simple, and it doesn't really matter if you bake it in the oven or the way I show you in this video. It's totally fine. It's gonna come out perfectly, and it has a really beautiful crack on top. It's kind of like a pound cake, so it of course has a crack on top which looks amazing. And same exact way like pound cakes, I'm gonna top it off with some glaze which is made up of icing sugar, and it's super delicious. Without any further ado, let's get on to making it. Here I have a big saucepan. It's a round one which I've lined with parchment paper and greased with oil. It has a very thick bottom, so it's gonna cook really fast. And we're gonna keep it on top of another old pan, so the heat is not direct. If the heat is direct, there are chances the bottom of the cake gets slightly burnt. So we can keep this onto the flame and get it heated by the time we make the batter. So here I'm going to keep this pan on top of the old pan and just let it sit like this until we make the batter so that it can get really hot. So first we need to start cutting the nuts. So here I have 1/4 cup of each of the nuts. It is walnuts, cashew nuts and almonds. You can take any sort of nuts you want and any amount you want. It's totally up to you. So let's start cutting it. So here I have all the fruits that I'm going to use for this recipe. These are dried and cut apricots, and these are dried and cut fig. And here I have some raisins. It's up to you. You can use the fruits that you like. I'm using 1/4 cup of each of these fruits, and you can use any amount that you want. It's totally fine. As my dried fruits are already cut into pieces, I'm not going to cut it further. I'm just going to exchange it to this plate. So here I have all the dried fruits and the nuts. Now let's get on to making the batter of the cake. For making the cake batter, we need to start by sifting all our dry ingredients. So here I have a bigger bowl and a sift, and let's sift in the flour, baking soda and baking powder. So into it I'm going to add in 1 cup plus 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and let's sift this. Just whisk that together until the baking soda and baking powder is combined with the flour. And dry ingredients are ready. Let's set it aside. So next let's get on to the other half of the cake batter. So here I have a big bowl into which I'm going to add in the water, the sugar, brown sugar and the vanilla extract. And always remember, the water should be really hot. It should be boiling hot so that it can dissolve the bigger amount of sugar really well, and it's gonna be a really smooth and moist batter. So I've poured the water into the bowl and added in the brown sugar and white sugar into this bowl. I'm also going to add in the vanilla extract. Next, you have to mix it and dissolve the sugar, both of the sugars, really well into the hot water. We don't want any more granules of the sugar. So now the sugar has perfectly dissolved. There's half a cup of vegetable oil and half a cup of yogurt. You can use sour cream also, it's totally fine. If it is not a sour yogurt, it's fine also. So let's add both of these ingredients into this bowl. Then just mix it until the batter is really smooth. So all the thick yogurt lumps have dissolved really well, and let's add in all the dry ingredients into this bowl. I'm just gonna add in the full thing and then just mix it in until you form a nice and smooth batter. So now this batter has really mixed well, and let's add in all the rest of the nuts and dry fruits. Just rationally mix it, and that's equally distributed to the batter, and let's pour this into our cake pan and let's bake it. So here I have the batter and I'm going to pour it in to this pan which is heated, and I'm going to pour only around half of it because this cake rises really well. So I've poured in the cake batter. I'm just going to level the top and smooth it. So now here this cake is fully baked, and it took me around 1 hour to get this cake fully baked all the way through, and the timing might differ according to your pan that you use, so you can always do the toothpick test. And you can see that I've kept an aluminium foil. That's because there are tiny holes in the lid, so I don't want any steam to escape. That's the reason I've kept the foil. So let's remove the foil, and there it is. The cake is totally ready. You can see it has a really nice crack on top, and the sides are not at all burnt. That's because it is a very thick pan, and also we kept it in really low flame, so it will not burn at all. And my pan is 3 inches tall and 7 inches wide. So if your pan is smaller, then you might have to use 2 different pans, or if it is bigger, just pour the full batter into the same pan and bake it. And the timing will differ accordingly, so just keep an eye on it. And now let's just insert the skewer into it and see whether it's baked. And if it comes out totally clean, then you know that it is totally done, and you can let it to cool. So if it comes free of crumbs and batter, you know that it's done, and you can let it cool in the pan itself before we take it out, or else there are chances the cake will tear apart. So now here the cake is totally ready, and let's release it from the pan. I'm just running a knife around the sides so that it just releases the sides really easily. And as there is parchment paper on the bottom, you don't have to worry about it. It'll come really easily. Then I'm going to flip up the plate down here. Tap the bottom. And there the delicious cake is. So as you can see, it is a really high cake, and it is really dense and super delicious with all the nuts and fruits. It's really good. It just comes right away, and there the cake is. It's totally ready. If you want, you can flip it over like this, or you can keep it like this also. Anyway will be fine. And now I'm gonna dust it with some powdered sugar just to make it a little bit more better. So there you can see all the delicious fruits and nuts plus the powdered sugar on top. It's super delicious. Everyone will love it, and it has nice caramelization on the outside, plus the brown sugar gives it a good color and texture. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked it, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up down below. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Thanks once again, and bye bye.